Grant writing can feel like a mystery when you're just starting out. You might think, do I need a whole special toolkit, a bunch of new skills? Yes and no. Truth is, you just need a handful of the right tools to get started, and I'm gonna help you put those in your toolkit today. Before we get ahead of ourselves, what is grant writing? Think of grants as the opposite of a loan. When you take out a loan, like for a car or a home, you have to pay it back. Grants, however, are funds given without the need for repayment. But these funds aren't typically for individuals like you or me. They're generally reserved for nonprofits, local governments, tribes, and quasi-public agencies like a port district or an airport, a railroad, that kind of a thing. Grant writing is the process of creating a proposal to request that financial support from an institution, a funder, like a government agency, a foundation, sometimes even a corporation. And the goal? It is to persuade that grant maker that your project and your cause is worth getting funded. These funds often go toward projects that have a positive impact, like community programs, research, and the arts. So in short, grant writing is about crafting a very compelling case that convinces funders to invest in your vision for the public good. If you think about it, when you learn how to get money that you don't have to pay back, that basically makes you a unicorn, or as I should say, a grant writing unicorn. If you're interested in this work, think of yourself as the bridge between an organization's big dreams and the funder that wants to help make them happen. Now, let's talk about the 3 mistakes I see people make when they're trying to get into grant writing with no prior experience. Volunteering. A lot of beginners think they just need to start out by working for free to gain some experience. And listen, I'm all for you volunteering and giving back to your community, but if you're serious about turning this into a career, you cannot be wasting years going this route. Problem with volunteering is that it creates this weird power dynamic where the organization feels like they're doing you the favor, giving you this experience, and they often become unresponsive, leaving you in a situation I have seen way too many times where you're not actually getting grant writing experience because they don't value your time to respond. So let's not have a lemon of a situation on our hands. I'm gonna link up a video on a member, Lucy, we'll call her, who volunteered for 2 years under the mentorship of someone else who told her to volunteer to gain experience, that our method is crazy. Well, 2 years later, and she still has no more experience to show for, and as you can imagine, was becoming pretty disheartened and questioning if grant writing really is for her. And so on no uncertain terms, I said, girly pop, you gotta stop this. You could have already made $50,000 plus by now had you been following my method, which I'll share later. So she did join at last, no more lurking, and within her first month made $3,000, and she's been well beyond that now. So trust me, when I say don't volunteer to gain experience, I say that because I've seen it time and time again not work out. Assuming I've got you convinced to not volunteer, the next mistake is charging a pittance. Not only does this put you in a trap where you cannot actually ever leave your 9 to 5 or build something meaningful, it puts you in a place of resentment, tears, burnout, all of that, because you're gonna attract lousy clients that suck to work with. And all ships rise when we collectively break the scarcity mindset in our industry by paying appropriately for the value delivered. And for that reason, I give you the exact tools to know how much to charge and contract. That leads us to mistake number 3, not creating custom opportunity. Grant writing work, it's just not the kind that just appears in your inbox. If you're waiting around for it, you're gonna be waiting a while. You have to make opportunities for yourself by reaching out, networking, and positioning yourself as the go-to person for grant help. Most people have no idea how to consistently create opportunities for themselves and never have to apply for a job again. As you can imagine, you now have 3 tools in your toolbox that are totally useless and irrelevant. I mean, I do like you eating fresh vegetables and fruit when you're working on grants, but you get what I mean. This is no closer to you being at your goal of becoming a grant writer. So instead, let's dive into my Ready, Set, Grant framework for becoming a new grant writer. Step number 1 is finding a real project. The fastest way to learn grant writing is to work on a real project. I hate hypotheticals. Hypotheticals are not the real world. I want you to work on the real deal, something real. It's gonna get you past those first-time jitters. Using my organic networking framework, you can reach out to nonprofits and find out who needs it's help finding grants. You're gonna get hands-on experience that is gonna teach you a whole lot more than any book ever could. Step 2, master the art of funding strategy. I'm not dogging on books, y'all. If you wanna get one, this is a good one. But here's the crazy thing. Before you can write grants, you need to know which grant do I even write? And most people have no idea how to find grants and how to prioritize them and how to give yourself the best chance of success and that return on investment. It's not really free money in the sense that there is time and resources that are going into actually applying for those. The method I built for this is developing a funding strategy. It's a 12 to 18 month roadmap, the grants to pursue. I'm gonna link up in the description a training I did with Instrumental, that's my favorite grant database, on the funding research funnel. Step 3, implement the funding strategy, i.e. stay hydrated, make sure you got your water and your caffeine and your snacks. Once you know what grants to go after, it's time to implement that strategy. You're gonna write the grant applications that you recommended. I'm gonna give you a quick example. Here's from my hometown museum. They want to expand with a ton of projects, but I recommended this gal, Shanna, in the collective, and she subcontracted another grant writing unicorn, specifically with museum grant experience. What was powerful about this is the museum had a lot of things they wanted to get funded, and they focused on, well, what are the handful of grant opportunities that really we have the best opportunity to pursue so that they could prioritize their own ideas. Step 4 is finding your squad. And if your squad doesn't like chocolate, you need to find a new squad. Just kidding. But teamwork makes the dream work. This is lonely work if you try to do everything like a lone wolf. Okay, that gal I was telling you about that did the funding strategy for my hometown museum, well, she put a call out inside the grant writing collective for a subcontractor, basically a teammate, and she had a ton of cool responses. Then they're able to use me as an advisor to review the narrative and get them feedback. And the point is, you need your squad. Whether that's within the collective or you get it elsewhere, you're gonna run into sticky situations where experience and external opinions is absolutely vital. Where am I gonna stick my chocolate? Need that handy. Step 5 is becoming a project management wizard. A successful grant writer is a project manager at heart. And in fact, we should not even be called grant writers. We should be called grant coordinators. Every grant application has multiple pieces, deadlines, and people involved. So you need to be developing your project management skills to keep it all on track. Get comfortable with project management basics. It'll make every grant application process feel so much more manageable and less stressful. We use Asana because a unicorn shoots across the screen when you complete tasks. And I'll give you all the templates you need, but you can use any software that you like for keeping yourself organized. All I ask is don't do it in your head. Bonus step, read books. Grant writing isn't a learn it once and you're done kind of a skill. You're gonna wanna keep reading and expanding your knowledge over time. And I recommend starting with your book. I mean, where else do you spend like $15 to $20 and you literally get someone's knowledge that took them thousands of dollars and years to learn? Books are such a hack. So if you don't have one yet, I recommend this one. You want to figure out which educator, which coach resonates with your learning style. Do not DIY it. I'm telling you, that is just the brutal way to do it. It's going to take you years to learn it and make a lot of very, very expensive mistakes. If all of this sounds intriguing enough and you want to continue pursuing this and seeing if this is your jam, I've got a 16-question survey. I'll link it up below, and it'll see if you've got the personality and the character traits of a successful grant writer. And there you have it. The Ready, Get, Set, Grant Toolkit. Few essential tools to get you started with grant writing, avoiding the rookie mistakes, and building real confidence. Gotta have your snacks too. My best friend from college just made this company, you guys, so if you want some really delicious nut snacks, go check them out. So gotta have snacks, gotta have your unicorn mouse pad, your pens, your book, your money, your water, your chocolate. This is everything I need to write grants anyway. Happy writing, and remember, even the best grant writers started as beginners just like you.